Alright, this is Everything Goes On by Neuro. I saw when I looked this up, she sang this 8 months ago. I don't know if it's the same song because in the titles they didn't put who it was by, but we'll see if this is just an upgraded version of that song. Well, actually, I won't know, but you guys will.
Everything Goes On. Don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, 'cause when we are gone, everything goes on.
Okay, I don't know if they're talking about death or somebody who has amnesia, but that's an interesting viewpoint. Let's throw out the death part of this right now and just think about it like amnesia. Like, imagine you were in a crash, you had amnesia. Technically, everything that, you wouldn't know anything, so everything that everybody else is telling you, they become kind of like fantasy stories. Well, they're not non-fiction stories, they are actually stories. They're not fictional stories, they're actually non-fiction stories. But it's an interesting point of view, because if you woke up like that and you didn't know who you were anymore and everybody started telling you stories, that's exactly what they become. They become stories, like a part of a book. Some major figures in history, that is technically what happened after they died. They left an impact, became theoretically immortal on this world because of the impact that they left, and they became stories. Like King Arthur, for a mythical one, or Martin Luther King, for a non-mythical one, right? They became stories to us. Legends, even, especially Luther. They become legends to us because of how they progress this world. So I don't think Arthur was technically fictional, but the stuff that he did, they made stories out of it that were fictional. Okay.
While you were staring at the window, and I said, I wanna take you to the sea. And when I'm better, we'll do everything. I gotta stop making promises I can't keep.
That is true. People should not make promises they can't keep. That's why doctors are kind of banned from making promises. They have to go around with their words very carefully, because if they say, I promise I'll save your daughter or son, or I'll promise I'll save your family member, and then they don't, that could be a lawsuit. Words are so important, and it's very important not to promise something you cannot keep. A promise is something very important. I try not to promise anything that I don't have to. It's a very important thing. It's a word. You're giving somebody your word that you'll do something, and if you can't follow up or back yourself up on that, then it's like you lied. You might not have. You might have believed that you could have, but at the end of the day, it comes down to how the other person views it.
But if I was gone tomorrow, won't the waves crash on? Is it selfish that I'm happy as we pass the setting sun? Someday I'll be overcast, but you won't have to cry.
That's a good line. I'm going to speak on it in the form of a relationship. Say you had a husband or a wife and they passed. Someday they may be overcast by somebody else. They may be overcast by somebody else's love for you. And you'll never forget that person. You will never forget that person for as long as you live. But you'll feel better. It won't feel like a betrayal, but it'll feel like something new. A new adventure. It's something new. It's something good for you, right?
Do the grieving while I'm by your side. I said, don't try
That's a good line. That's a good line. Like, once you move past something, it's important that you leave them in your past and you look in your present or towards your future of what you're going to do. Don't try and remember them. Like, it's loyal to a point to remember them and not to want to move on, but to another point, you could be hurting yourself if you do that. Loyalty is a very important thing. That's something that I find very important, to be loyal to others, especially my friends. But there comes a point where you have to move on. You can still stay loyal to them. They could still be like maybe the love of your life or a great love in your life. Two different things. But it's still important for you, for yourself, and for the better of yourself to be able to move on. That's what I'm getting from this song.
'Cause when we are gone, everything goes on.
That's also true. But depending on the impact somebody left in their life, when they move on, some stuff might be different. Everything will go on, but some stuff might not go on
And I'm
as
so
is.
scared of getting used to this. All the vines that keep you tethered in your room. Well, someday both of us are leaving here. But for now, I'll just bring the sea to you. Ooh, will you meet me in the daylight like we did before? Then I felt you on my shoulder, and you weren't suffering anymore. You said I'm sorry that you worry, but don't apologize. I told you to forget me, but you stayed by my side when I said don't try to make yourself remember. Darling, don't look for me, I'm just the story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, and when we're gone, everything goes on.
The first three songs of this karaoke stream have been incredibly deep and incredibly powerful. I love it so far. But anyways, this is Dantelios. These are my songs. These are like the songs that I resonate with the most. Anyway, this is Dantelios. Bye-bye.